and monopolistic system to more open and competitive environment. And here I can give you examples on the sort of things that the government of Kuwait have done to move from closed to open systems, and that is, we have, for example, in the issue of visa requirements, we have significantly liberalized our visa requirements. More than 40 countries around the world now, the citizens of more than 40 countries can fly into Kuwait and get their visas from the airports. This has been almost impossible three years ago, when Saddam was in power, and we were very much obsessed by his intentions over Kuwait. So we have liberalized our visa environment, and we have adopted what we call the free skies policy, and that is opening our ports to all airlines or chartered planes or boats to come and visit Kuwait. So this is something that have enabled us to link with the rest of the world in a more, in a faster and more concrete way. And it's a more competitive because we have liberalized our domestic economic activities. The banking sector, for example, has been dominated by domestic monopolies. We have broke the domestic monopolies, and we have allowed now banks to operate, international banks to operate in Kuwait. We have already now 5 international banks opening branches in Kuwait. Also, we have liberalized our investment laws, insurance, and likes of that nature, and we have seen a lot of multinational companies now coming and opening shops. We have liberalized our telecommunication system. We have a third now cellular phone company in the process of being established, and we are currently negotiating with more than 5 different economic blocks for free trade areas agreements. We are currently discussing this with European Community within the context of a GCC, European Community Free Trade Area. So there is a great deal of exciting things happening in terms of liberalizing our economic structure and allowing international competition to operate in a free way in Kuwait. And lastly, we are moving from quite restrictive and centralized decision-making process to more open, transparent, and accountable process. What do I mean by that? I think that in an open system is where you broaden the political participation in the consensus building institutions. And Kuwait have, over the past 2 years, have passed a law to expand the political base by passing a bill in Parliament for universal suffrage. That enabled our women to participate fully in the last election, and we have now a woman as a member of cabinet in a Kuwait government. We also liberalized our civil societies laws and the regulation that requires to establish civil societies organization and public advocacy groups. And we have seen a proliferation of these organizations and unions and associations established in Kuwait. And most importantly, maybe, is the ground-breaking law that has been passed last 3 months, and that's about breaking the monopoly over establishing free press, newspapers, daily newspapers. Currently we have 5 newspapers, but now anyone who can meet a very minimum requirement and a very lenient requirement can establish and open his own newspaper. And we have now more than 10 newspapers license been signed, and also there has been quite interest in TV stations, private TV stations. All in all, these measures would make the government and the political system very transparent and very accountable to the public, and that is a process that foreign policy had to adopt to such an open, transparent, accountable system. We in the Foreign Ministry have tried to respond to these changing environments by establishing an economic division within Foreign Ministry, headed by none other than my friend Ambassador Ali, and who's in charge of following free trade area agreements and making sure that Kuwaiti business enterprises are well represented in our bilateral discussions whenever we have bilateral discussion around the world. So all in all, I think we have moved significantly from an era where, as I have said before, Kuwait was obsessed by security concerns. Over the past 25 years since the Iraq-Iran war and the Iraqi invasion of Kuwait, our foreign policy has been quite obsessed by preventing a repetition of the Iraqi invasion and protecting our borders from and our citizens from harm. Collapse of Saddam Hussein opened the new opportunities and opened a new era for Kuwait foreign policy to be moved from preventive diplomacy to economic diplomacy. I would like to use the rest of the time that has been allotted to me with a question and answer session, and thank you very much.